I'm going to discuss exercises related to the lesson variables. In order to follow these exercises, you should have gone through lesson 1 and lesson number 2 and also the exercises related to lesson number 1. Okay, and then let's look at the first question. Start a new Visual Basic Windows Forms application project. Okay, so you have to go to the IDE and then project. Here you have to select Visual Basic. Here you have to select Windows Forms application. Let's give the name project 1. Okay, then here you have to specify where you are going to save. So I have already created a folder on the desktop with the name GS. Okay, you have to select it and then you press OK. Then you can see an empty form. Okay, add the text box to the form. So you can drag and drop a text box. Add a button to the form and program it according to the steps given below. You have to add a button as well. Declare two integer variables with names num1 and num2 respectively. So you have to program the button, so you have to double click and dim num1 as integer, dim num2 as integer. This is one way of doing that. Okay, so another way, you without writing this line, you can simply put a comma here, num2. Okay, in that way you can do that. Initialize the two variables declared in 1D above with values 14 and 57. Okay, so you have to initialize num1 to 14, num2 to 57. Okay, declare another integer variable. Part F says declare another integer variable with name sum, dim sum as integer. Then store the sum of the values of the variables num1 and num2 in the variable sum. Okay, now what you have to do is in the variable sum you have to put num1 num2 and you already know this side you have to take the values. Okay, so 14 plus 57 will be assigned to the variable sum. Store the sum of the values of the variables in num1 and num2 in the variable sum. Display the value of the variable sum in a message box. So you have to use this one, message box sum. Okay, now you can save and let's run it, debug. start debugging, we have clicked. Okay, here in the message box, the sum of values of num1 and num2 we can see. Now in the next part, modify the code such that the value of the variable sum appears in the text box instead of the message box. So you have to now, if you want to remove this line, one thing is you can select it and delete. In order to select, you can do it in this way, or else you can simply go to here, and if you click, this entire line will be selected. Then you can press the delete button. Okay, I press the delete button, and now what you have to write here, in text box 1, to the text property of the text box 1, you have to put sum. And now let's see, we run our application, and 71 you can see here. Okay, so that is the end of our question number 1. Now let's move to the question number 2. So you have to close the solution. Okay, then it says start a new Visual Basic Windows Forms application project. As usual, we go to here and here, then new project window appears. Here you put Visual Basic, then Windows Forms application. Here let's give a name project 2, and the previous location, previous folder we use to save this project as well. Then you have to select OK button, and now this is our empty form. Okay, add 3 text boxes to the form and label them as first name, middle name and last name respectively. So you have to add 3 text boxes. 1, okay, 2, 3, then you have to need labels 2, 3. Okay, now here you have to put it here, this one here, this one here, text property, middle name, last name. Okay, in that way you can put 3 labels. Now you have to put these 3 text boxes here. You have to put it like this, then This one you have to change the sizes appropriately, and here you put first name, middle name, and last name. Add a button to the form and program it according to the steps given below. Then you have to add a button. Declare three string variables and assign the input of each text box in to be above to each variable. So we need three string variables. So we double click on the button and dim. So it's better you use this kind of meaningful names for the variables as string. Okay, now to the first we have to assign from the text box 1, that is the name of our first text box, text. Then for the second, not second, middle, let's our middle that is in the text box 2, last text box 3. Okay, in that way you can assign here. Now you know this one is the assignment operator, so the value here will be assigned to the first variable, and value in our second text box will be assigned to the middle variable, and value inside the third text box will be assigned to the last variable. Okay, now let's see. Declare another string variable to store full name. Now I'm going to declare another string variable full as string. Then what it says, compute the full name by concatenating the values of the three variables in 2D above and store it in the variable created in 2E above. Then what you have to do is, in this variable you have to put first, and then in order to concatenate you have to use the ampersand sign, first, middle, again ampersand, last. Now it's okay. So what it does is, this ampersand sign concatenates. It takes the string inside this one and append string inside this one to it, and to this one this will appends the value of this one. Okay, then let's see what is the last step. Display the full name in a message box. You have to use a message box. Full. Okay, and that is our application. Then you have to go to debug and click stay debugging, and here you can put the first name, then here you have to put middle name, and you have to put here last name, and once you press here you can see the name. You cannot see spaces. Okay, these are three parts. You cannot see spaces. Then in order to get the spaces, what should you do? That's what we have tried. Okay, now in order to do that, what should you do? Before appending, one thing you can do, you can append a space. Okay, you can append a space. Now here we have a space and again middle. So here you have space. Okay, then you have type Kasun, then here Ranga, here Vijayveera. Okay, first name, middle name and last name. When you click the button, now you can see each first name, middle name and last name separated by spaces. Okay, that's then you can save and then go to debug and stop debugging. So if you want to yes, now that is the end of our question number 2. So you can go to file and click close solution. Then look at the third question. So it says start a new Visual Basic Windows Forms application project. As usual, we go to here, this one and this one. Then we select Visual Basic, here Windows Forms application. Third, we use the same folder as previous, and then you have to press OK button. Start a new Visual Basic Windows Forms application project. Add the text box to the form. So you have to add the text box. You simply double click on this. Then now you have a text box. Add the button to the form and program it according to the steps given below. You have to add the button as well. Declare an integer variable. So in order to program the button, you have to double click. Now in between this line and this line, you have to write the lines of code. Those should be executed when we click on the button. So you have to declare an integer variable, dim n as integer. Then you click save all, and the user is expected to enter an integer in the text box. Okay, so assign the input of the text box 3b above to the variable 3d above. So this is how the content in the text box we assign it to an integer. Multiply the integer by 10 and display the result on the button. So you have to multiply this integer by 10. So what you should do, n into 10, n into 10, then you have to display the result on the button. So in order to display the result on the button, the name of the button is button1, okay, dot text. To the text property you assign n, and if you go to debug and click start debugging, if you put something, it will be multiplied by 10 and be displayed on the button. Okay, then you go to debug and click stop debugging. Okay, now that is the end of our set of exercises. So you have to close the solution and you can close the IDE as well. And that's all. Thank you for listening.